Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study that's fresh and delicious, artisanally made, responsibly handled, free of MSG and GMOs. This is the place that you'll find fresh daily Bible study, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. That's Daily Dose Radio. And this is what we like to call the Bible Bistro. Hope you'll come in here, sit down, and let's just do 5 minutes worth of Bible study. Would you like to join me in that today? We're looking at a really good section of Scripture here in Psalm 78, almost a panorama, if you will, of Scripture and what the Lord has done for the people. I said last week that this passage, this whole psalm really, could be called the weal and woe of revival. And it certainly does portray that because we have the work of God and the response of the people. The work of God and the response of the people. And it's just back and forth like that. Yesterday, we talked about his Egyptian works. Actually, the psalmist in verses 45 through 51 gave us an exact replica in just those few verses of what happened in the Egyptian Exodus. Today, we're coming back to some more of those delicious dainties there in verses 52 through 58, and especially the first 4 verses, 52 through 54 or 55. You'll find the deliverance that God wrought when the people came out of Egypt. So let me read, beginning here in verse 52. But made his own people to go forth like sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock. Now, this comes after the firstborn of the Egyptians are slain, so we know the timeline. The last judgment was the firstborn. Now the people leave. And when they leave, they go into the wilderness, and the Lord leads them. You remember how he led them? He led them by a cloud and by a pillar of fire. So he leads his own people, guides them in the wilderness like a flock. Verse 53, and he led them on safely so that they feared not, but the sea overwhelmed their enemies. We remember that. After they passed through the Red Sea, the Egyptians attempted to do the same, and they were destroyed, the entire army of the Egyptians. All of those chariots, all of those horses, all of those men, gone. And then we have verse 54. And he brought them to the border of his sanctuary, even to this mountain, which his right hand hath purchased. And you'll notice there that it's this mountain. So we're talking about Sinai or Horeb. This is the place where God had given his law to the people. So he brought them there to his sanctuary, to his mountain, and his right hand had purchased. So this is God's place, and we know what happens there. God delivers the law. Verse 55, he cast out the heathen also before them, and divided them an inheritance by line, and made the tribes of Israel to dwell in their tents. So now we have the conquest of the land of Canaan. All the heathen are driven out, the people are given an inheritance, and they're there. They're in their tents. So from the time they leave Egypt until the time that they arrive in the land and God gives them an inheritance, that whole time period is covered here in this section that I have entitled Deliverance, 52 through 55. Then we have the period of the judges reflected here in 56 through 58. Yet they tempted and provoked the Most High God and kept not his testimonies, but turned back and dealt unfaithfully like their fathers. They were turned aside like a deceitful bow, for they provoked him to anger with their high places and moved him to jealousy with their graven images. We know that we've seen this happen in the book of Judges. The people did this also in the book of 1 Samuel. The people are doing this very same thing. And so God is provoked because the people sinned. Their iniquity stands out. This is deeper and stronger than the transgression of forgetting God's works, because now they have rejected his way. His way is in the law, and they've rejected it completely with their high places and their graven images. Join me tomorrow. We're going to look at verses 59 through 64 on Daily Dose Radio. Hey there, friends. just wanted to remind you to go out and get yourself a copy of my new book, Christianity to the Life, by Cotton Mather, edited by me, David Smith. You can find it at Amazon. It's a paperback. It's also in Kindle form, so you can get it for your Kindle or you can get it for your library at home, however you'd like to have it. If you do, I really would appreciate if you would write a review after reading it. Let me know what you think. And it's a really good book. It'll encourage your Christian walk with the Lord. So go out and get Christianity to the Life today on Amazon. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.